Welcome to the first top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis video for June, and this video is for June 3rd, 2019 in preparation for the next trading day. I wasn't able to record the video earlier because the trading view charts through First Metrosec Pro were not showing up for some reason, so I kept on checking until the dawn, maybe until 1 or 2 a.m., but the TradingView wasn't really showing the charts. So nonetheless, we will try to. Uh, I'm going to try finishing this vid. I'm going to try to finish this video at least 30 to 45 minutes before the trading day, before the trading starts, so that you can still watch the video and apply the recommendations. Nonetheless, I'm almost I'm certain that the analysis that I'm going to mention in this video will still be applied all throughout the trading day today, whether it's going to be a bearish or a bullish day for each of these 10 stocks. And speaking of these 10 stocks, we will be talking about Ayala Land, Globe, RLC, POPI, which is already has a stock code of ALLHC, Green LR, CLR, or CLI rather, CLI, Peron, TKC Metals, T, FDC, and the warrant version of LR or LRW. Let's begin with Ayala Land. So Ayala Land closed on Monday at 52.45. The acting support is at 49.5. For its resistance level, let us zoom in the chart. For the resistance level, it's somewhere near 56.8. Take note that the swing low of my up Fibonacci is positioned near this level, around 38 pesos per share, or 37.8 or 37.9. And the swing high is positioned near at the support level itself. Okay, so now the 61.8% up Fibonacci extension is pegged at 56.8. That's the psychological resistance of Ayala Land. I know you'd like to ask, is it more likely for Ayala Land to reach that level, 56.8? We don't know. We don't know if it will reach that far. But what I know is that there are lots of bullish signals appearing on my screen right now. What are those? Let's check if the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo are still true. Is the price moving above the 10 SMA? Yes. Is MACD moving above the signal line? Yes. So that's already a buy signal. How about the 4-point criteria? Are they all present? Let's see. Is it a green candlestick? Is the last candlestick a green one? Yes. Did it close above the VWAP of 51.53? Definitely. How about volume? Do we see a green volume bar that is at least higher than the 50% of its 10-day volume average? More than that. So that's another bullish signal. How about the trade and volume distribution chart of Ayala Land? That's what I'm going to show you here. So on this trade and volume distribution chart, it's obvious that it's in favor of the buyers. The dominant range is between 51.85 to 52.45. So that the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo are true, all 4 points are present. Do I still need to say that it's already a bullish stance for Ayala Land? Of course, that is a bullish stance for Ayala Land. I'd like to put a caveat, however. And what is that caveat and where is it? What influences it? RSI. Your RSI or the RSI of Ayala Land is already approaching the classical overbought level. I'm not saying that Ayala Land will bounce away from 52.45, 53, or 54. I'm not saying it will surely bounce away from those levels, but there's a possibility that profit taking might be the favorite stance among traders on Ayala Land. because at this point, some traders might think that Ayala Land is already too pricey not to be sold out. They might consider locking in some profits. So be watchful, okay? Be alert about the price action, next price action of Ayala Land, especially if you have this stock for short-term trading purposes. So what now? That means I would like to advise you to consider locking in some profits above 53, above 54. Consider locking in some profits. You have the option not to sell everything so that if in case Ayala Land continues to go higher than 53, above 54, you still have a few shares left that can take advantage of the continuation of the upward bullishness or upward momentum of Ayala Land. Okay, so therefore I'm bullish on Ayala Land for short-term trading purposes. You either uh, consider locking in some profits at 53, 54, but maybe don't top up just yet. Don't top up just yet. Again, I'm not saying we should never top up from here all the way to 56.8. That's not what I said. What I want what I would like to advise you to do is to monitor Ayala Land for now. If we see some uh, a continuation of seeing some bullish volume above 53 or 54, maybe that would warrant us, or that would give us a data-driven conviction to consider topping up as well. Okay? Now for if you don't have Ayala Land and you would like to know, is it still logical for me to enter a new position in Ayala Land? Calculate your reward to risk ratio first. This is your support, and this is your psychological resistance. Support is at 49.5, psychological resistance is at 56.8. Go back to the quick start guide. If you're happy, then do a test buy. But at this point, I would suggest do it very minimal only. Buy minimal shares. How minimal is minimal? It's relative, it's up to you. Okay, but don't buy at any price. Make sure that you buy within the dominant range that I've shown you a few seconds ago. Next stock in the list we have Globe. Globe closed on Monday at 2,260 pesos per share. Support is at 2,147. Resistance is at 2,325. Okay, that's your historical resistance level. Globe is still moving above the 10 SMA, and its MACD is also moving above the signal line. That's another bullish pair for Globe. It's a green candlestick. It closed above the VWAP of 228 pesos, 2,228.67. We're seeing a green bullish volume bar. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 100 million pesos per share, and they have been buying Globe for 11 trading days straight. Let me just rewind a bit. Let's go back to Ayala Land. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 510 million, more than half a billion pesos last Monday. And what propelled these property stocks? Actually, not just property stocks, but almost all index stocks. What propelled them to go higher or to rebound higher than usual? BSP, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or the Central Bank of the Philippines, uh, announced a cut in policy rate or interest rate. Okay, so that means, what does it mean for businesses? Businesses can borrow more money than usual because less interest rate will be applied to their loans. And why should they apply for a loan? For business expansions. So that's what it means. That's the impact of having low interest rates, or uh, that's the domino or the aftermath. No, not aftermath, but the good side effect of hearing the BSP announcing some uh, rate cuts. Okay, rate cuts. All right, so that's it for Ayala Land. Let's go back to Globe. So for Globe's RSI, here's another caveat as well. I would suggest that you consider locking in some profits near 2,325 because RSI is already approaching the classical overbought level as well. Nonetheless, the upward momentum remains strong based on my reading on my DMI histogram. Histogram, okay, not Instagram. Okay, so there you go. Now let's check on Globe's trade and volume distribution chart. Well, obviously, this is in favor of the buyers. The dominant range is between 2,204 all the way to 2,260. Okay. Next, I am bullish on Globe. If you have had a position in Globe, I would suggest that you consider locking in some profits near the resistance level. If you don't have Globe and are planning to enter a new position, first things first, calculate your reward to risk ratio. Only when you're happy with the RRR that you got, that's the only time that you should do a test buy within the dominant range. Okay? If you're not happy with the reward to risk ratio, that means you will only have a low conviction to have a new position on Globe despite the presence of these bullish signals. So that's another thing that you should also consider, traders. Okay, let me just address this one. Let me just emphasize this. It's not all about seeing bullish or buy signals. You have to check also if you have a high conviction. If you have a high conviction call to trade the stock. Because if you're seeing bullish signals but you have a low conviction call, low conviction for to trade that stock, psychologically that will impact your trade plan psychologically as well. Okay? Of course, when you have a low conviction towards a stock despite the appearance of its buy signals, the temptation to preempt your trading stop loss is high as well. The temptation to prematurely sell, okay? Because even before you enter the position on that stock, you already have had doubts, okay? A little bit of doubt in your mind, even before you bought your first shares for that stock for short-term trading purposes. So that's what it means. All right. So next, RLC. RLC closed on Monday at 27.10. Support is at 24.8. Let me zoom in the chart again to see its resistance level, and this resistance level is a historical one also. So it's near 28.55. Okay, actually RLC broke above its midterm resistance level at 26.10. It already broke above that level, and its acting resistance area now is at 28.55. Okay, 28.55. It's also moving above the 10 SMA, and MACD is moving above the signal line. That's another bullish pair. It's a green candlestick. It also closed above the volume weighted average price or VWAP of 26.73, and it's a green bullish volume bar. Now let's see its trade and volume distribution chart. Yes, it's in favor of the buyers as well. The dominant range last Monday was between 27 to 27.25. Okay, 27 to 27.25. Alright, now notice this one that RSI is also approaching the classical overbought level. So if you have had RLC for short-term trading purposes, consider locking in some profits near 28.55 also. Okay, if you don't have RLC, yes, you have these buy signals in front of you. You've heard it from me, but calculate your reward to risk ratio first. The formula on how to calculate it is on the quick start guide. If you're happy with your reward to risk ratio, then do a test buy between 27 to 27.25. Okay? Foreign investors registered the net foreign buying worth 109 million pesos on Monday. And last Friday, it was 70 million pesos. For 2019 year-to-date, foreign investors are net foreign buyers on RLC. So I am bullish on RLC in the short term. It's also bullish in the long term, by the way. However, let me also emphasize this one, that this video is for short-term trading purposes only. So don't take my pieces of advice in this video for long-term uh, as a long-term strategy. Everything that I'm going to say here is geared towards short-term trading. If you're looking for a long-term, if you're looking for a piece of advice for long-term investing purposes, go to the long-term investing tab. Ask in our private clients forum if you have to. Okay. Next, we have POPI. So on the trading view chart via First Metrosec Pro, we won't see the entire chart of POPI here because it has already changed its stack code from POPI to ALLHC, and we're not going to see its historical candlesticks. That's the reason why, alternatively, we're going to use COL Financials and charting tool, so we can see the historical candlesticks of ALLHC, which used to be POPI. Okay, here the support level is at 3.25. Resistance, historical resistance, is near 3.85 to 3.9. Okay, so the candlestick is also above it's above the 10 SMA, and the signal line is above the MACD is above the signal line. That's a bullish pair. We're seeing a green candlestick. Let's see the VWAP. Okay, VWAP of ALLHC or the old POPI was a 3.69, meaning to say it closed above the VWAP. We're seeing a bullish volume bar as well. Now let's take a look at RSI. Okay, RSI is approaching its classical overbought level also. Okay, its classical overbought level. Take note, resistance. The historical resistance is near 3.85 to 3.9. Now let me show you the trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range is between 3.7 to 3.72. And what was the closing price of ALLHC? 3.72 in favor of the buyers, closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. So it's bullish. Again, it's bullish, but I suggest that you consider locking in some profits near 3.9, between 3.85 to 3.9. So that's also a reminder for those who are just planning to enter a new position on ALLHC to calculate again your reward to risk ratio first. Okay, consider that you've heard my piece of advice to lock in some profits near 3.85, between 3.85 to 3.9. Mind you, it's already at 3.72. Are you happy with the potential reward from 3.72 to 3.85 to 3.9 with the potential risk at waiting at 3.25? Well, obviously, even without using a calculator right now, that means you have a thicker potential risk than your potential reward, given the distance of the current price to its support level and resistance level. Are you happy with that thin potential reward? Well, if you are, then you can do a test buy. If not, wait for a pullback or buy on breakout. Okay, that's how you should translate the situation. Okay, now let's check green. Green closed on Monday at 2.42. Support is at 2.25. Resistance is at 2.9. It's a green candlestick. It closed above the VWAP of 2.38. It's a green. It's a bullish volume bar. It's moving above the 10 SMA, and MACD is still moving above the signal line. That's another bullish pair. Now let's take a look at green's trade and volume distribution chart to see if it will complete the 4-point criteria. It's quite groggy here on the trade and volume distribution chart of green. The distribution is quite groggy. It seems that everything is a dominant range. Okay, now let's just check. What was the closing price? 2.42. That's the intraday high. That's the intraday high. So the dominant range here, if we just really have to select one, that would be between 2.38 to 2.42. But I'm not 100% bullish on the trade and volume distribution chart of green, because the number of trades and the size of volume seem to be evenly distributed across all traded price points. So it's an extra challenge to find a dominant range there on that picture. So anyhow, RSI is still far. RSI is far from its classical overbought level. That gives green uh, more space. Okay, more space to test its resistance level. But I don't think that will happen very fast, because the upward momentum it's not bullish. It's not very strong. The upward momentum is not so strong. In fact, there's a possibility for green to just move sideways. The ADX has been moving below the 25-point score for over 30 days already, for over 30 trading days. So I'm not completely bullish on green, despite the appearance of the bullish signals on our chart. Okay, but if you are planning to enter a new position, this is now a better chance. If you are planning to enter a new position, because it's closer to the support level than the resistance area, you have a thicker potential reward than a potential risk. It's just that, ask yourself, if green will just continue to move sideways for how many more days, weeks, or even months, can I wait before it go berserk and hit the resistance area? Can you wait? Do you have the patience to wait? If you do, you can do a test buy. If not, find something else. Alright? So that's my sentiment and advice for green. Next, we have LR. LR closed on Monday at 4.26. It's at the brink of breaking below its support level at 4.26 also. Resistance is at 4.77. If it breaks below 4.26, that will make 3.62 as its immediate support level and 4.26 as its resistance level. It closed below the 10 SMA. MACD already crossed below the signal line. That's a death cross. That's not the pair that we would like to see if we are to trade a stock. Okay, if we are to trade a stock. It's a red candlestick. It's a red tall bearish volume bar. The positive DMI is already registering. It's also at the brink of crossing below the negative DMI, a death cross also. And by the way, RSI hit its classical overbought level when the price hit around 4.77. That was a good selling area, and if you have been trading LR, I think by now your trailing stop loss has already been hit. Maybe last week it was already hit already. Okay, let's check on LR's trade and volume distribution chart. Okay, it's quite groggy as well, but the dominant one here apparently is between 4.2 to 4.4. I think this is still in favor of the sellers, because majority of the long bars are closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Okay, so what's my advice? Follow your trailing stop loss if you have had LR, and if you are thinking about trading the name, no, don't enter just yet. Wait if LR will rebound from 4.26. If it will continue uh, to descend below 4.26, might as well wait near 3.85 or all the way to 3.6, but don't buy it just yet. Okay, don't hurry. Okay. Next, we have CLI. CLI closed on Monday at, hold on. CLI closed on Monday at 4.78. Support is at 4.69. Resistance is at 5.11. It closed below its 10 SMA. It also closed below its VWAP of 4.84. And MACD is moving below the signal line. That's a bearish pair. A red candlestick. It closed below the VWAP. A red volume bar. Okay, those are not buy signals. The dominant range is between 4.78 to 4.82 in favor of the sellers. So warnings, red flags are all over the chart of CLI. Don't buy just yet. And if you've strictly followed the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo when that appeared last April 15, congratulations, you managed to enter a new position on CLI when it was at 4.2 or 4.25, and perhaps you already sold at 5. Not bad, right? Not bad. Follow your trailing stop loss if you have had CLI, and by now, majority of you must have hit their trailing stop loss already. Okay, follow it. Don't disrespect your trailing stop loss. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense being guided in short-term trading. Okay, so don't buy it just yet. If you are interested with the name, maintain your interest, but don't buy just yet. Don't top up too. Okay. Next, we have TKC Metals. TKC closed on Monday at 1.42. Support level remains at 1.22. Resistance is at 1.64. It's still moving above the 10 SMA, and MACD is still moving above the signal line. We're seeing a red candlestick that closed below its VWAP of 1.43. It's a red volume bar. Let's see. Its dominant range is between 1.4 to 1.45. It's in favor of the sellers. Now, even though the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo are still true, I am not interested to trade TKC due to some volume related concerns. Okay, historically speaking, I don't like these thin volume extended trading days whereby TKC exhibited very relatively thin volume. So I'm not interested to trade stocks with thin volume. So that's my personal stance. We all have our own risk tolerance and investment horizon. But I'm sharing with you my personal stance or risk tolerance for TKC. Okay, so don't trade if you have had TKC. Let's say you managed to enter a new position last May 22, just because the 10 SMA and MACD combo became true on that day, then you should have already considered selling your position near 1.64. I think that price level was hit twice, last May 24 and last Friday, May 31st. Okay, and by now your trailing stop loss must have already been hit. So I'm not suggesting that you enter a new position on TKC just yet. Not yet. All right. So there you go. I am bearish on TKC in the short term, despite the well, maybe my bearishness on TKC is affected by my personal stance or personal disinterest on it due to the irregularity of volume, some historical liquidity issues on TKC. Okay. Next, we have FDC. I think this is another one that has some liquidity issues. Yes. Okay, so FDC closed on Monday at 13.8. Support is at 12.13 pesos. Resistance is at 14.7. It's below the 10 SMA already. MACD already registered the death cross below the signal line. It's a red candlestick that closed below the VWAP of 13.92. It's a red bearish volume bar. Sellers are in control based on the DMI histogram, and the downward momentum is in a strong level already. FDC here. Okay, the dominant range is between 13.8 to 14 pesos per share in favor of the sellers. I'm also not interested to trade FDC due to some volume related concerns, liquidity. Okay, and even if it didn't have any liquidity issues, relatively speaking, I'm still not interested on the name because we're seeing bearish signals all over. Okay, so don't buy FDC. Maybe try to wait near. Uh, it's more logical to wait near 13 pesos before you reassess and consider entering a new position. But now, don't buy it yet. Okay, last but not the least, LRW. LRW closed on Monday at 2.04. Support is at 2.04 also. Resistance is at 2.27. One more red candlestick and it's all officially below its previous support level. By the way, MACD registered a death cross already. Okay, MACD registered a death cross, and the classical overbought level on RSI was achieved last May 28th. Okay, and the buy signal for LRW appeared last May 15 or May 16. May 16, that's a better one. And by now, your trailing stop loss should have already been hit also. You should have already profited on LRW if you are following our 10 SMA and MACD combo. Okay, but for now, let me just show you the trade and volume distribution chart. It's in favor of the sellers also. It's the dominant range is between 2.2, no, not 2.2, but 2.02 all the way to 2.05 in favor of the sellers. So don't buy LRW just yet. Don't top up. Better yet, follow your trailing stop loss if you manage to enter a new position on LRW last May. Alright, don't enter a new position yet. Okay, so you have heard my pieces of advice for short-term trading purposes for these 10 stocks. If you have some follow-up questions, please ask inside our private clients forum, and I would like to invite you to attend the Advanced Evergreen Strategy in Trading the Philippine Stock Market. I would say that's a prerequisite, or uh, it should be as much as possible, ideally speaking, it should be attended when you subscribe to Equilist Analytics, because I'm going to teach there everything that we do so that you can ask clearly and learn properly instead of just reading the quick start guide. So anyway, if you will read the quick start guide, you will still learn our process, but I think for me as a visual learner, it's better for me to learn when the author himself teaches what's on the book in person. Okay, so head on to the seminars page, and then I have some seminars in Angeles City, Pampanga, in Baguio City, Davao, Cebu, Iloilo, Cavite. I think I will also have one CDO, Iloilo. Okay, click on the seminar section. All right, my name is JC De Guzman, your mentor for short-term trading purposes. Have a great day.